Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It feels good to be in a room that is this big. It's actually larger than my hometown. I come from a city where we have 3 stoplights and a blinking light. And in that big city of Denmark, South Carolina, my mom and dad always taught me that the 2 most important words in the English language were the words thank you. And they're not nearly said enough. And so before I begin, I simply want to say thank you for this invitation, and thank you for allowing me to be here and to be a part of your awesome experience. To President Burnett, Dr. Harpool, members of the faculty and Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, family, and graduates, I have to tell you that since being invited to speak at today's commencement, I have received 2 pieces of advice regarding my remarks. The first is that delivering a commencement address is like being the body at a wake. They stick you in the middle of the room, but deep down, they really don't want to hear a lot out of you. The second was a reminder to always adhere to the 5 B's. Be brief, brother, be brief. And so with that, I will treat all of you all like Elizabeth Taylor treated all 7 of her husbands, and that means I'm not going to keep you long. And while my goal here this morning is to be intelligent, inspirational, and brief, I feel confident that any failure in the first 2 would be forgiven by success in the third. So let's get started. You know, it's a great honor to be here today and not only share in this celebration, but offer my congratulations to this wonderful class of 2017. To the family and friends who join us today, congratulations. Today's celebration is as much for you as it is for the graduates. I like you a lot. There you go. Because of your support and your encouragement, these men and women have done something truly remarkable. Share in their celebration at this and all future triumphs made possible here today. The truth is, had it been up to me, I would not have attended my own graduation. However, my mother made it clear that it was not up to me, saying that she would be attending the ceremony with or without me, though she strongly advised the former, as the latter would have serious consequences. Mrs. Noboa feels so strongly that she's here to accept her son's diploma on his behalf. But I promise you that thing is going on her wall, not the major's. And why not? Because you've earned it. To the graduates, let me congratulate you on this achievement, realizing a success that has been years in the making. This is a rare and special moment, so I want you to enjoy it. I want you to cherish this feeling of accomplishment and confidence, because it slips away when you're not looking, and it's almost impossible to get back once it's gone. You see, my expectation, our expectations for you, all of you, are extremely high. And though it may not be fair that we have such high expectations, you only have yourself to blame because you have already exceeded every expectation placed before you. But you know that already, don't you? You know that because no one in this room today arrived here by accident. None of you are here because you were a fan of the football team, because you grew up with the pennants of blue and burnt orange hanging in your bedrooms, or because this is where your father went to school. None of you simply followed your feet, as some do, out of high school and into college simply because that's what was expected. It was the next logical step. No, every step you took along this path was deliberate, and for many of you, difficult. Let's be honest, nobody enrolls in an online university because they have an abundance of free time and resources. You do it because you have jobs, responsibilities, families to provide for, and you have to be able to study at night on your lunch hour in between shifts. Even more importantly, you do it because the obstacles to your education are significant, but they are not insurmountable. So you sacrificed, you worked hard, you stayed up late, and you have achieved something truly remarkable. No, none of you is here today by accident. You have come here with clear intention, with deliberate action, and Your Honor, dare I say, with purpose. Hold on to it. Hold on to it, because purpose is powerful. No one can resist it, Victor Hugo said. Armies cannot stop it. Nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Purpose is powerful. In fact, purpose is power itself. Think about it. What makes a 26-year-old Baptist minister from Atlanta organize a bus boycott in Montgomery, Alabama, build the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, give the I Have a Dream speech at the March on Washington, and take on an entrenched, well-funded, and deadly opposition every step of the way? It's called purpose. How does a 40-year-old patent office employee, and a woman to boot, end up braving the guns of Civil War battlefields, completely revolutionizing the standard of care at Army hospitals, and end up at 60 years old funding and founding the American Red Cross and leading it for the first 23 years? It's called purpose. What takes a man crippled by polio and drives him to lead our nation out of the Great Depression and build an arsenal of democracy that drove back the Nazi-tied war machine? It's called purpose. Because class of 2017, purpose is power. And it's that purpose that brought you here today. But the question you have to ask yourself is, where will it take you next? Look, I don't have the audacity to pretend that I know where you should go from here. I don't have all the answers, and I heard some of you all boo the CNN reference, because most of the time I'm not even 100% sure if I know the right questions. But I do know this. Ladies and gentlemen, we as a nation and as a people are at a crossroads. Think about this. How many children live in or near poverty in the United States of America? 31 million. What percentage of our federal prison population are nonviolent drug offenders? More than half. How many people would lose their coverage if Obamacare is repealed? 23 million. How many would die? 43,956 every year. And this statistic is even more near and dear to my heart, but what continues to be the leading cause of death for African American males between the ages of 15 and 34? Homicide. Think about this. Right now, 20% of all the income in the United States goes to the top 1% of the people. That's right, the top 1% takes home on average $1.3 million every year. Per capita income is less than $29,000 per year, and the bottom 50% of the American population, earn roughly $16,000 per year. Globally, it's even more striking, as the top 10% in the world hold 86% of the wealth. And listen to this statistic. The richest 85 people in the world, are worth more in assets than the poorest 3.5 billion combined. 1 in every 9 people across the world are suffering from chronic hunger. And according to the 2016 Global Peace Index, global violence has reached its highest level in 25 years. And I tell you this because this isn't a political speech. None of us think that's okay. Democrat, Republican, Green Party, Independent, blue, yellow, across this nation and around the globe, none of us thinks the description I just gave represents the United States of America or the world we want to be. And I'll tell you one more thing that we all agree on. It will take men and women of purpose to change it. Men and women like you. So what will you choose? Will you choose to be an individual defined by an era, or will you instead choose to be a community, unified and unshakable, and defined not just by this generation, but by the next? What will you choose? We know the hard fact is that life is not just, and it's not fair. It never was, and anybody who tells you different is trying to sell you something. But the fact of life in and of itself should not be cause for hopelessness and cynicism, especially not today. because you are proof of a different fact, that while life isn't fair, it isn't fixed either. You are living, breathing examples that the age of miracles has not passed, that opportunity still lies before us, even if we have to work longer and harder to find it. And if you can't believe it in yourself, then believe it in me. Because not that long ago, my last name was a pariah in South Carolina. Because being close to my father or our family was all the probable cause necessary for some agent or deputy to make a list of your family and friends and start recording your phone calls. Because the first time my sister saw our father was through the state prison glass as he was convicted and serving time for a riot that never happened. He was shot along with 28 others, and 3 were killed in what's known as the Orangeburg Massacre by South Carolina Highway Patrol after simply protesting the right to bowl at an all-white bowling alley. But look at where I'm standing now in just one generation. It's the agitator's son who became a legislator, then a nominee for lieutenant governor, and now an analyst for the largest news organization in America. In one short generation. So don't be afraid. Class of 2017, do not be consumed by fear. Don't be afraid to dare greatly and fail. Don't be afraid to aim high and fall short. Don't be afraid to be the miracles that you already are. No one can resist it, Victor Hugo said. Armies can't stop it. Nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Ladies and gentlemen, graduates of the class of 2017, your time has come. Let nothing stand in the way of your purpose. Thank you, and God bless America, and God bless you all.